Okay, so the word imagination. I mean, throughout this whole event, we must have heard it over 50 times at this point, okay? It has probably been drilled into our head. I think it'll even be playing in my sleep at this point, okay? Imagination, oh my god. I'll admit, when the teacher announced imagination as the topic for this whole TEDx event, I genuinely had no clue what she was talking about. If it was like a comic or something, you would have seen like a question mark above my head. That's how clueless I was. At first, I wondered, should I talk about, I don't know, Albert Einstein or Thomas Alva Edison? People here, I mean, they did talk about it, right, in the previous speeches. But then I realized that if anyone wanted a boring science lesson or history lesson, they wouldn't be here. The students here would most probably be in their classrooms. I don't blame them, okay? So at first I wondered, what can I talk about? What is something that all of us can relate to on an interpersonal level? Something that we can all understand. And that's when it struck me. I'll ask you all a simple question, okay? It's just a basic show of hands. How many of you have imagined a goal? Any goal. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. Just a simple goal. How many of you all have imagined a goal and tried to innovate your own path to achieving that goal? Just raise your hand. Kids. Okay. See, we've all done it. That's what makes special. Even I've done it, okay? I've done it many times. So that is what makes what I'm trying to say a bit special. We all relate to this. We don't have to be big old fancy businessmen in suits or the next leaders of our society. We all get this. For me, my whole life, I had a plan. You might be wondering, okay, what is this plan about? It's actually the plan for how I was going to get through high school. Yes, the dreaded high school, how I was going to get through it. Now, I was never really good at athletics, okay? All my classmates here, a few of my classmates are there at the back. They'll get this. I am not good at athletics. The P staff, they have never seen my face in class, ever. I don't think the P staff even knows my face at this point. One time, I tried playing basketball, but the ball ended up hitting me on the head. I tried playing badminton the next. Maybe this was something I could do. But what happened was the cork ended up getting stuck in the racket rather than going to the opponent. I don't even know how that happened, okay? It still did. The thing is, sports and me, we have a bad relationship, okay? It just doesn't work out. As for singing and dancing, I don't want to make your eyes or ears bleed. So I will refrain from even talking about that, okay? So I knew that extracurriculars and me, we don't get along. It's hopeless. Even though universities really desired it, I knew it was hopeless. So this was my plan. I do well in my academics. I had always been quite academic. My classmates will know. They don't think I'm human at most points. But yeah, I've always been good at academics. So my plan was this: to do well in my exams, then get into a prestigious university, and go into a well-paying job. We all want to be rich, right? I mean, admit it. We don't say it out loud, but we all do want to be rich. That was my plan. Public speaking, though, had never been part of that plan, okay? The thought of going onto a stage and saying a bunch of words to people I don't even know sounded terrifying to me at some point. I had been good at talking to my friends, my family members, but there's a difference between giving a boring presentation in class where half your classmates are trying really hard not to sleep because class was just so boring. We have all slept at class, right? In fact, just give a show of hands. How many of you have slept during class? Even I did. See, I see the adults also raising their hands. We have all done this. So there's a difference between doing that and giving a speech at a TEDx event. It's like two completely different leagues. This is actually my second TEDx event. I mean, the person who introduced me did mention that, right? It's my second TEDx event. During my first one, I was sitting right there. There were chief guests and students who were way older than me, giving such awesome speeches that I genuinely felt starstruck. It was like I had discovered a whole nother world. My whole life, I had never really found something that I was actually good at, really good at beyond academics. But this was actually something I could do. The event was so fancy. Everyone was wearing these blazers and formal shirts. And I got to wear it for the first time. Am I showing off? Yes. But anyways, I got to wear it for the first time. And I was a performer at such a fancy event, not an audience. And it felt good. I genuinely liked it. We have all had that moment in life, right? Where everything just seems to click, to fall into place. That was my moment for me. Okay? It was where I felt that a spark had been lit up in me. A spark of imagination, you could say, to keep pushing me ahead, to keep encouraging me to do this because this was something that I could actually do. How many of you all have had that moment? At least once. Huh? Okay, you kids are really very interactive. I can see that, okay. But yeah, we have all had that moment, right? That was my moment for me. But it's an undeniable truth that we live in a very, very fast-paced society. Trends are arising each and every single day, whether it's trends in fashion, the medical field, the educational sector, or even on social media with all those influencers. Trends are always there in our society. The instant we step out of our house, there are so many people there to tell us what to do, how to do it, and why to do it. We also have so many obligations and duties to fulfill to society. Let me tell you like a little personal experience, okay? When I was younger, I mean from 1st to 6th grade, there used to be this one question that absolutely terrified me. Ask me this question, and I'd go running for the hills. Okay? It used to terrify me, make my blood run cold. You might be wondering, okay, Maria, what is this question? It can't be that bad, right? No, it was that bad, pretty bad actually. So every time a new academic year started or a teacher came for a substitution period, there used to be this one question that they'd ask, okay? It was, what do you want to be when you grow up? This question, oh my God, I could never really answer that question, you know. For some people, this like really scary question could be, you know, science or engineering, medical or engineering, science or commerce. Okay, I see you kids raising your hands again. Okay, you really are interactive, I get it. But yeah, we all have those questions that terrify us. And for me, that was that question. What do you want to be when you grow up? At first, I tried being honest. Okay, the teacher asked it, and you know, I innocently said, oh, I don't know. But then the adults didn't like that. They were like, oh, you have seen your parents work, right? You've seen them work. Don't you have some sort of idea? I genuinely did not, though. But then I realized that no adult was like really understanding that. So then I decided to just wing out career choices. Just wing it. The next time someone asked me that, I said I wanted to be an actress. The next day, a researcher, a playwright, a drama artist, anything and everything, okay? One time, I saw this really cool post-apocalyptic zombie movie, and there was this like awesome scientist in it with like a fancy lab coat and everything. So the next day, I was saying I wanted to be a scientist. Like that, okay? I just winged it. The thing was, it wasn't that I didn't want to give a genuine answer. I really, really did. The problem was that all those options seemed good to me. They all had so many possibilities that it seemed difficult to actually decide. We have all felt that, right? That's the problem. Life doesn't give us enough time to truly explore all the options that are available before us. They all seem so good. They all seem like they might work out for us. But we are never ever given a chance to explore that. And we also have so many unfair expectations on ourselves, you know. We all want to succeed all the time. We want to be the best. We want to always win. Some people might sit here and say, oh, I don't care about winning. I just care about the experience. Sure, but I do feel like you're kind of lying, okay? A little bit. We all do want to win at the end of the day, right? I mean, if you're going for a sports match, you do want to win. Okay, kids, I can see you're very interactive. Okay, you just said thumbs up. Thank you. Now, we all want to win. We all want to do good. And even if you open social media, right, you can see these people who are doing so great that sometimes it can feel a little bit unnerving. I'm in 10th grade, okay? So I have these dreaded, horrible things called revision exams. Horrible. They suck. I don't think anything is more worse in this world, okay? So during my revision exams, my first revision exam, I was studying. I was studying for quite a while, maybe a few hours. I got bored. And so I decided to just like scroll through my phone. And I came across this one shot, okay, that just absolutely destroyed me. So there was this girl. She was my age, okay, exactly my age, 15. But she was sitting with the perfect hair, the perfect dress, okay? And also she was surrounded by these fancy Lamborghinis. And she was talking about, oh, you have to work hard and you have to do this and be that. Don't sit on your couch. Don't be lazy while sitting on a fancy couch. I do not know what is more ironic, okay? And while she was saying that, here I was, sitting in the middle of my bed, surrounded by textbooks and revision notes and whatnot, and looking half sleep deprived. If you'd walked in on me, you might have thought I was like one of those zombies from those horror movies. That's how it was. It was like someone had slapped me in my face. But I think that made me realize one thing, something that we have all felt at some point. Life is unfair. We have all felt that at some point, right? When we don't get the chances we want, when we don't get the opportunities we're like really looking for. We have all felt that. And that's the thing. Life is never really fair. There are so many opportunities we don't get, variables that we can't account for, things that could have happened but didn't, right? How many of you all have felt that? Just give me a show of hands here. See, we've all felt that. Whether, students might say, oh, I found it unfair when I failed my exams, which I mean, it is unfair, I get it. But then here's the thing. It can seem very unnerving that life is so unfair, that nothing is ever really certain. When we are trying to innovate our own path to achieving a goal, we always want to succeed. But success can never really be guaranteed. We don't know what lies at the end of the road. We don't know whether we might actually make it in terms of our goals and our dreams. So you might be wondering, okay, then what is the point of innovating my own goal? Okay, what's the point of me innovating my own path to achieve my goal and all that? You are wondering that, okay, maybe I could just follow a path that has been set by others. Something that would be far more easier and would definitely have a chance of success. But let me tell you this one thing, okay? Life is kind of like a tapestry. I know I sound pretentious right now. You are probably rolling your eyes, but I swear it makes sense, okay? Life is kind of like a tapestry. It is filled with so much things, okay? Love, hate, joy, the drab, the mundane. And making that tapestry more beautiful is your own successes and failures as a result of the path that you have endured. It just makes that tapestry even more stunning. I actually came across a quote in one of these fancy classical novel books, okay? Kids, I can see that you probably don't know what classical novel I'm talking about, but I'll explain it to you, okay? I'll explain it. So how many of you here have heard of War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy? A few people, right? I know. The name itself sounds so pretentious, I get it. But I swear it actually makes sense, okay? The quote I saw in it was what inspired this whole talk. So I was reading this book, and I first bought it in grade 8. This book is actually more than 1,000 pages. It's kind of a book that finishes you before you finish it. That kind of book, okay? So I bought it in grade 8 first, naive little me, and I thought that I could actually read it. But turns out I didn't understand anything. I was feeling so bored, I practically slept while trying to read it. I picked it up again in grade 9, and then realized that, oh my God, I still don't understand anything. So then I started again during grade 10. Ironically, during my first revision exams, again. I was just really bored, okay? There's so many things one does when they are extremely bored. So I came across this quote by this one character who was really struggling in life. This character didn't know what their place was in society, whether their lifestyle was actually good for them or not, and how they wanted to change themselves. This was the quote they said, okay? All we know is that we know nothing. And that is the height of human wisdom. Wouldn't you agree so? We never really know anything about life, right? We're all sitting here in this moment, really enjoying it. But we can't really predict what happens in the future. When the coronavirus came, did any of us really expect it? I mean, we were all planning to celebrate 2020, okay? I was planning to host a huge party and everything. But then it all flopped, okay? So we can never really predict what is going to happen in the future. It's full of uncertainties. But that is what makes it beautiful. It's what makes us human. Humanity's biggest thing is that we are willing to push ahead regardless of the uncertainties that come upon us. At the end of the day, life is like a stage for a beautiful, elaborate drama. Okay? It's filled with mystery, with thrill, with wonder. And that's what makes it as engaging as it does. If we had everything figured out from the start itself, the whole journey would be boring as hell. Okay, you most probably wouldn't even want to go through it. So life is like a stage. And at the end of the day, you are all the main actors in that stage. You should be following your own script, not living life as a placeholder for someone else's, but rather live it uniquely as yours. I believe that within each and every one of you present here, there is that spark. You can call it imagination for this whole TEDx thing. You can call it passion, wonder, whatever it is. I believe that you all have that spark within each and every one of you. And with that, you'll sure as hell be setting the stage of life ablaze. Thank you.